Solaris Science 2017. Hello everyone! I must say that when developing the second Solaris, the Koreans took into account most of the problems of the first generation cars. For example, the Hyundai Solaris 2 has better sound insulation, improved suspension and improved build quality. However, some drawbacks still exist. Although soundproofing has become noticeably more effective, some discerning owners are still not satisfied. Harmony wheel arches are especially annoyed and dissatisfied customers have to install additional noise protection. But the windshield has become noticeably stronger and more confidently resists flying towards pebbles and other debris. The paintwork is still not durable. Even the cats that jump up on the hood leave threads. At the same time, the body iron itself boasts good corrosion resistance. There is no rust even on the oldest cars, which however are not even a full 3 years old. It is also worth noting the rather high prices for body parts, bumpers and block headlights from the officials. It is much more profitable to buy these parts in online stores. Unfortunately, the interior is not distinguished by the quality of finishing materials. The front panel and door upholstery are made of hard-to-touch but quite pleasant-looking plastic, which, by the way, is very easily stretched. But I was pleased with the assembly. In the cabin, crickets have not yet wound up. Although over time everything can change, because the car is still quite young. The engines did not compromise themselves either. The base 1.4-liter Kia G4LC series with a phase change system and a leaf chain in the gas distribution drive has a decent power density. The 4 is easily chipped up to 109 forces and amazing economy. At the same time, 90 seconds of gasoline can be consumed without any damage. In such a short time, charged to eyeliners did not appear in the motor. What cannot be said about the 1.6-liter unit, which is more powerful and in demand among Solaris owners. This engine idling with noticeable vibration, which in general is not surprising. After all, the operation speed of the crankshaft is only 600 revolutions per minute. Moreover, many official dealers consider this only a design feature of the car, and by no means a disadvantage. However, this problem still exists. True, some specialized technical centers make adjustment to the control unit software, and the problem is solved once and for all. Well, in general, the motor is considered quite reliable. However, for both power units, after 100,000 km of run, the timing chain is strange. At risk are also oxygen and mass airflow sensors, as well as the catalytic converters, which should be changed at the first sign of wear. Otherwise, you can ruin the engine, and repairing it is quite expensive. The radiator is not too durable. It usually starts to leak after 3 to 4 winters. Both 6-speed boxes help ruin themselves from the best side. The only thing you complain about is the wear of the synchronizers of the second to third gears after 100,000 to 120,000 km of run. Otherwise, this unit is quite reliable. In this case, the box is considered maintenance-free. Oil is filled for the entire service life. The clutch works an average of 100,000 km. After wear of the disc or release bearing, the assembly is replaced with the clutch basket. On large runs over 150,000 km, they will probably be asked to replace the plastic bushing of the backstage of the manual gearbox lever. The repair kit is inexpensive, as well as the work to install it. In our harsh realities, the replacement of liquid lubricant in the machine is strictly required. The oil is updated here every 60,000 to 90,000 km, depending on the driving style and operation conditions. And then the automatic transmission will last even up to 300,000 km. Although unforeseen breakdowns can happen during this time, the whole body fails, the toggle converter or clutch pack wears out, the box control unit moves. But this does not happen often. In general, the box is durable. There are not many complaints about the suspension either, front with McPherson struts, rear semi-independent torsion beam. In the chart, the struts and bushing of the stabilizer are the first to fail. Parts are inexpensive, and the replacement is cheap, especially with the specialized series. Ball bearings with sound blocks last an average of 70 to 110,000 km, and shock absorbers can fork up to 15,000 km, which however does not affect the driving performance of the sedan. This is half the trouble. Something else is worse. On some Solaris, standard shock absorbers do not hold the road well after 120 km per hour. Moreover, even the first car of the past generation sinned with this without exception. The steering at high speeds began to be thrown from side to side, and the car was noticeably thrown up. The Koreans changed the design of the shock absorber several times, until they achieved the desired result. In general, the problem was solved, although, as you can see, its echoes still appear on model Solaris. The electrical equipment on the sedan is not practically complex and quite reliable. True, sometimes there are failures in the multimedia system and the keyless entry system. Occasionally, the tire pressure control function and the audio system fail. At the same time, we can safely recommend any modification of the sedan for purchase. Well, if you don't like the design of the car, take a closer look at the Kia Rio. This car, in my opinion, is more interesting in design, and in construction, it is an exact technical copy of the Solaris. If you have had such a model, share information about what and how it breaks in the comments.